Have you been feeling an unexplainable restlessness in your spirit lately? Have you noticed that your prayers seem more urgent, your dreams more vivid, your sense of anticipation more intense than it's been in years? Have you found yourself waking up in the middle of the night with a knowing that something monumental is about to shift in your life, but you can't quite put your finger on what it is? What if I told you that what you're sensing isn't just wishful thinking or spiritual imagination, but an actual divine frequency that's been building in the atmosphere, preparing for a supernatural activation that will change everything for God's chosen ones? What if this August isn't just another month on the calendar, but a divinely appointed season when heaven releases breakthrough that has been building in the spiritual realm for years? Can you feel it? That stirring in your spirit that tells you something extraordinary is coming? That inner witness that confirms you're standing on the precipice of the most significant shift your life has ever experienced? You're not imagining it, chosen one. What you're sensing is real, it's powerful, and it's about to manifest in ways that will leave you speechless with gratitude and wonder. This August has been marked by heaven as a month of divine activation, supernatural acceleration, and prophetic fulfillment that will impact every area of your life. Before we dive deeper into this urgent revelation, I need you to comment 777 below as a declaration that you're ready to receive everything God has prepared for you this August. This isn't just a number. It's a spiritual key that unlocks heaven's storehouse over your life. And to those precious souls who have supported this ministry through super thanks, your generosity hasn't gone unnoticed by heaven. Every seed you've sown is about to multiply in ways that will astonish you, because August is not just a month of activation for those receiving this message. It's also a month of supernatural return for those who have been faithful givers into God's kingdom. Something unprecedented is happening in the spiritual realm right now, and those who carry the mark of the chosen are feeling it more intensely than anyone else. There's a divine frequency building in the atmosphere, a supernatural tension that's been increasing day by day, preparing for a release that will be unlike anything you've experienced before. This isn't just another spiritual season or another prophetic word about future breakthrough. This is an urgent divine alert that the time of waiting is over, the season of preparation has concluded, and the moment of manifestation has arrived. August has always been a significant month in God's prophetic calendar, though many have never recognized its spiritual importance. It was in August that Moses received the final instructions for the tabernacle, completing the blueprint for God's presence to dwell among his people. It was in August that Nehemiah finished rebuilding the walls of Jerusalem in record time, demonstrating what happens when divine favor accelerates human effort. It was in August that many of the great revivals throughout history began, when heaven opened and poured out its Spirit in ways that transformed entire regions and generations. But this August is different. This August carries a weight of destiny that surpasses all previous August seasons. This August has been sealed by heaven as a month when those who have been hidden will be revealed, when those who have been prepared will be positioned, and when those who have been faithful will be rewarded with breakthrough that defies every natural law and exceeds every human expectation. The spiritual atmosphere has been building toward this moment for years, and now the pressure is about to be released in a divine explosion of favor, provision, opportunity, and supernatural intervention. Have you noticed how intense your spiritual life has become recently? How your sensitivity to God's voice has increased dramatically? How your discernment has sharpened to levels you've never experienced before? How your dreams and visions have become more frequent and more vivid? These aren't random spiritual experiences, chosen one. These are signs that your spiritual receptor system is being activated and calibrated for what's coming. God has been upgrading your spiritual sensitivity because you're about to operate in dimensions of His presence and power that require heightened spiritual awareness. Think about what happens when a radio is tuned to receive a specific frequency. The closer it gets to the right wavelength, the clearer the signal becomes. For months, maybe even years, God has been fine-tuning your spiritual frequency, adjusting your heart's receptor to align perfectly with the divine transmission that's about to be released this August. Every trial you've endured, every test you've passed, every moment of surrendered obedience has been part of this calibration process, preparing you to receive clearly what heaven is about to broadcast over your life. The enemy has been working overtime to distract you from this moment, to convince you that nothing special is happening, to make you doubt the stirring in your spirit and dismiss the anticipation in your heart. He knows what's coming in August, and he's terrified of what it means for his kingdom of darkness. He's been launching attacks against your faith, your hope, your confidence, and your expectation, because he knows that if you enter August with full awareness of what God has prepared, there will be no stopping the avalanche of blessing that's about to be released over your life. But his attacks have failed, haven't they? Despite every attempt to discourage you, despite every circumstance that tried to convince you that God had forgotten about you, despite every delay that made you question his timing, you're still here. You're still believing, you're still expecting, you're still standing in faith because your spirit recognizes that you're not just surviving another difficult season, you're being positioned for the greatest breakthrough of your lifetime. This divine shift that's coming in August isn't just about personal blessing, though you will certainly experience that in abundance. This shift is about the activation of a chosen generation that has been in preparation for decades. You are part of a select group of individuals who have been specifically prepared by God for this hour, encoded with supernatural gifts and abilities that have been dormant until now, waiting for the right moment to be activated and released. Consider the story of Esther, who was prepared in the king's palace for months before being revealed as queen, and then waited even longer before the moment arrived when her true purpose was unveiled. She didn't know during her preparation that she was being positioned to save an entire nation. She couldn't see during her waiting that every day of delay was actually divine timing, ensuring that she would be in exactly the right place at exactly the right moment when her destiny demanded her presence. You have been in your own season of preparation, chosen one, though you may not have recognized it as such. Every challenge that developed your character, every trial that strengthened your faith, every season of hiddenness that developed your intimacy with God, every delay that taught you to trust his timing, it was all part of an elaborate preparation process that was calibrating you for this August activation. But what exactly is going to happen this August? What does divine activation look like in practical terms? How will you know when it's occurring in your life? The activation that's coming will manifest differently for each chosen one because God's plans are as unique as his people. But there are certain universal indicators that will confirm you're experiencing this supernatural shift. First, you'll notice an acceleration in answered prayers that will take your breath away. Prayers you've been praying for years will suddenly manifest with lightning speed. Requests you almost gave up on will materialize so quickly you'll barely have time to process the miracle before the next one arrives. God has been storing up your prayers like a dam stores water, and this August the floodgates are opening. The accumulated faith, hope, and expectation of your faithful praying is about to be released in a torrent of answered prayer that will leave you overwhelmed with gratitude. Second, doors that have been sealed shut will suddenly burst open with such force that no human power will be able to close them again. Opportunities that seemed impossible will present themselves with perfect timing. Connections that appeared out of reach will be divinely orchestrated. Resources that were beyond your access will flow toward you effortlessly. This isn't just about getting what you want. It's about receiving what God has always intended for you, but held back until you were ready to steward it properly. Third, you'll experience a supernatural increase in your spiritual gifts and abilities that will astonish both you and those around you. Gifts that have been dormant will suddenly come alive with power you've never experienced. Abilities that have been operating at a minimal level will suddenly function with supernatural intensity. Your discernment will become so sharp, it will feel like you can see into the spiritual realm with your natural eyes. Your faith will become so strong that moving mountains will feel as natural as breathing. Your authority will become so evident that demons will flee at your approach, and angels will respond to your declarations. Fourth, there will be a divine realignment in your relationships that will be both beautiful and shocking. People who were meant to be in your life but were somehow separated from you will suddenly reappear with divine timing. Toxic relationships that have been draining your energy and hindering your progress will naturally dissolve without drama or conflict. New connections will form that will feel like divine appointments, relationships that will accelerate your purpose and amplify your calling in ways you never imagined possible. Fifth, you'll experience a financial breakthrough that will not only meet your needs, but position you to be a blessing to others in ways you've only dreamed about. This isn't just about receiving more money, though financial increase will certainly be part of it. This is about being entrusted with resources that will allow you to fund kingdom purposes, support other chosen ones who are just beginning their journey, and establish generational wealth that will impact your bloodline for centuries to come. But perhaps the most significant aspect of this August activation will be the unveiling of your true identity and calling. For years, you've sensed that you were meant for something greater, that there was a purpose within you that hadn't yet been fully revealed or expressed. This August, the veil will be lifted and you'll see yourself as God has always seen you. You'll understand why your journey has been so different from others, why your struggles have been so intense, why your preparation has been so thorough. You'll recognize that every experience was strategically designed to prepare you for a calling so significant that it required this level of intensive development. The timing of this activation is not arbitrary. August 2024 represents a convergence of prophetic cycles that hasn't occurred for generations. We are witnessing the alignment of divine seasons, biblical calendars, and spiritual atmospheres that creates a perfect storm of supernatural possibility. Heaven has been building toward this moment for years, orchestrating circumstances, preparing hearts, and positioning people for an outpouring of divine power that will mark the beginning of a new era in God's prophetic timeline. Throughout Scripture, we see that God often moves in sudden shifts that seem to come out of nowhere, but are actually the result of long seasons of preparation. Moses spent 40 years in the wilderness before leading Israel out of Egypt. David was anointed as king but waited years before ascending to the throne. Jesus prepared for 30 years before beginning his public ministry. Paul was converted on the road to Damascus, but spent years in preparation before launching his apostolic mission. Your preparation is complete, chosen one. The waiting is over. The delay has served its purpose. The hiddenness has accomplished its work. This August marks the end of your preparation season and the beginning of your manifestation season. Everything that has been built in secret is about to be revealed in public. Every gift that has been developed in private is about to be demonstrated before audiences. Every calling that has been whispered in your spirit is about to be proclaimed from the rooftops. But with great activation comes great responsibility. As you step into this new dimension of spiritual authority and influence, you must remember that your gifts are not for personal glory, but for kingdom advancement. Your breakthrough is not just for your benefit, but for the blessing of others. Your activation is not the end of your journey, but the beginning of your assignment. You are being trusted with supernatural power, not to elevate yourself, but to elevate the name of Jesus and advance his kingdom on earth. The enemy knows what's coming this August, which is why he's been intensifying his attacks against God's chosen ones. He's been trying to wear you down, discourage your faith, and convince you to give up just before your breakthrough arrives. He's been whispering lies about your worth, your calling, and your future, because he knows that once this activation occurs, you'll become a major threat to his kingdom of darkness. But his attempts to derail your destiny have failed spectacularly. Instead of breaking you, the attacks have strengthened you. Instead of discouraging you, they've determined you. Instead of convincing you to quit, they've confirmed that you're exactly who God says you are and that you're about to receive exactly what He's promised you. Every attack was actually confirmation that something big was coming, and now it's almost here. This August, you won't just experience breakthrough, you'll become breakthrough for others. You won't just receive miracles, you'll begin to release miracles. You won't just witness God's power, you'll become a vessel through which His power flows to transform lives, heal wounds, and set captives free. The same God who parted the Red Sea through Moses, who brought down giants through David, who raised the dead through Elijah, is about to demonstrate His power through you in ways that will leave no doubt that you are indeed one of His chosen vessels. Have you been feeling a sense of urgency lately that you can't explain? A feeling that time is running out for something, though you're not sure what? That urgency isn't fear, it's anticipation. Your spirit is sensing the approach of your divine appointment, the arrival of your moment, the manifestation of your destiny. This August isn't just another month, it's your month. This isn't just another season, it's your season. This isn't just another year, it's your year. The reason this message found you today isn't coincidence, it's providence. God orchestrated this divine appointment between His word and your heart because He wanted you to be prepared for what's coming. He wanted you to enter August with full awareness of what He's about to do, complete confidence in His faithfulness, and absolute certainty that you are indeed one of His chosen ones who will experience this supernatural activation. But preparation isn't just about receiving information, it's about positioning yourself spiritually for what God wants to release. This means intensifying your prayer life as August approaches, not because God needs to be convinced to bless you, but because prayer positions your heart to receive what He's already decided to give. This means increasing your faith expectations, not through positive thinking or mental exercises, but through meditation on God's promises and remembrance of His past faithfulness in your life. This means purifying your heart and mind of anything that could hinder the flow of God's Spirit through your life. Unforgiveness toward those who hurt you, bitterness about past disappointments, fear about future uncertainties. These emotional toxins create spiritual blockages that can limit God's ability to move freely in your life. As August approaches, it's crucial that you deal with any heart issues that could prevent you from receiving the fullness of what God wants to release. This also means aligning your expectations with God's character rather than with your past experiences. Many chosen ones limit what they expect from God based on what they've experienced before. But God is about to exceed every previous experience you've had with His goodness. This August activation will establish new benchmarks for God's faithfulness in your life, new standards for His provision, new levels of His presence, and new dimensions of His power. Consider how the Israelites had to adjust their expectations when they left Egypt. For 400 years, they had known only slavery and limitation. Their mindset was calibrated for bondage, their expectations shaped by oppression, their dreams confined to survival rather than expansion. But God didn't deliver them from Egypt just to give them a slightly better version of what they had before. He delivered them to give them something completely different, something so beyond their previous experience that it required a total recalibration of their understanding of what was possible. This is what's happening for you this August. God isn't just upgrading your current situation, He's relocating you to a completely different realm of existence. He's not just improving your circumstances, He's transforming your entire reality. He's not just blessing what you have, He's giving you what you didn't even know to ask for because it was so far beyond your ability to imagine. The activation that's coming will also affect your relationships in profound ways. People will begin to see you differently, not because you're trying to impress them or manipulate their perception, but because the glory of God on your life will be so evident that it transforms how others respond to you. Favor will begin to flow toward you from unexpected sources. Doors will open through connections you never cultivated. Opportunities will arise through relationships you never pursued. But this divine favor isn't just for your personal advancement, it's for kingdom expansion. As God begins to demonstrate His power through your life, people will be drawn to you not because of your charisma or talent, but because they recognize that you carry something supernatural. They'll want to know what makes you different, what gives you such confidence, what enables you to operate with such authority. This creates evangelistic opportunities that don't require formal ministry training or elaborate witnessing strategies. Your transformed life becomes the testimony that draws people to Jesus. The financial aspect of this August activation deserves special attention because money is often the area where God's people struggle most to believe for supernatural intervention. But this month, God is going to shatter every limitation you've accepted about your financial capacity. Resources will begin to flow toward you from sources you never expected, through channels you never created, in amounts that exceed your ability to explain through natural reasoning. This financial breakthrough isn't just about meeting your personal needs, though God will certainly do that abundantly. This is about positioning you to fund kingdom purposes that require significant financial resources. God is about to entrust you with wealth because He's about to assign you to projects that require substantial investment. Your financial increase is directly connected to your calling increase. As your assignment expands, your resources will expand to match it. But remember that with increased financial blessing comes increased financial responsibility. God doesn't give His people wealth to hoard or waste on selfish pursuits. He entrusts resources to those who will use them to advance His kingdom, bless others, and establish His righteousness in the earth. As you experience this financial activation, it's crucial that you maintain a generous heart and a kingdom perspective on your resources. The timing of this August activation is also significant because it positions you for the fall season, which in God's calendar is often a time of harvest and fulfillment. What begins in August will continue to expand and develop throughout the remainder of the year, creating momentum that will carry you into 2025 with unprecedented levels of blessing, influence, and impact. This isn't just a momentary experience, it's the beginning of a sustained season of supernatural living that will define the rest of your life. As we approach this divine moment, it's important to understand that not everyone will experience this activation in the same way or to the same degree. This movement of God is specifically designed for those who have been prepared through seasons of testing, purified through trials of faith, and positioned through years of faithful obedience. It's not about favoritism or arbitrary selection, it's about readiness and capacity. God doesn't give everyone the same level of responsibility because not everyone has developed the same level of character. He doesn't release the same degree of power through everyone because not everyone has proven they can handle it with wisdom and humility. This August activation is reserved for those who have been tested and proven faithful, those who have demonstrated that they can be trusted with supernatural authority and divine resources. If you're sensing this activation approaching in your life, it's because you've passed tests that others failed, endured pressures that others couldn't handle, and remained faithful through seasons when others gave up. Your perseverance through difficult times wasn't just about surviving hardship. It was about proving your reliability as a vessel for God's power and glory. But even among the chosen ones, there will be different levels of activation based on individual calling and assignment. Some will experience dramatic shifts in every area of life simultaneously. Others will see specific areas activated, while other areas remain unchanged for now. Some will receive immediate visible manifestations of God's power. Others will experience more subtle but equally significant transformations that develop over time. The key is not to compare your experience with others, but to focus on what God is doing specifically in your life. Your activation will be perfectly designed for your unique calling, your individual assignment, and your specific sphere of influence. What matters is not how your experience compares to others, but how it positions you to fulfill the purpose for which you were created. As August approaches, I encourage you to begin preparing your heart through increased time in prayer and worship. Begin preparing your mind through intensive study of God's promises and meditation on His faithfulness. Begin preparing your schedule to accommodate the new opportunities that will arise from this activation. Begin preparing your resources to steward wisely the increase that's coming. Most importantly, begin preparing your expectations to receive more than you've ever imagined possible. God's thoughts toward you are higher than your thoughts, His ways higher than your ways, and His plans more wonderful than your plans. This August, He's going to exceed every expectation you've ever had about His goodness, surpass every dream you've ever dreamed about your future, and fulfill purposes in your life that you didn't even know existed. To those who have been faithful supporters of this ministry through super thanks, your faithfulness is about to be rewarded in ways that will take your breath away. The seeds you've sown into God's kingdom are about to produce a harvest that multiplies exponentially during this August activation. Your generosity has positioned you to receive generously. Your giving has prepared you to receive abundantly. Your support of God's work has qualified you for supernatural support in every area of your life. If this message has stirred something deep in your spirit, if you recognize yourself as one of God's chosen ones who will experience this August activation, I encourage you to take a moment and declare your readiness to receive everything God has prepared for you. Comment 777 below as a spiritual declaration that you're positioning yourself for divine breakthrough. Like this video to help spread this urgent message to other chosen ones who need to hear it. Subscribe to this channel so you don't miss any updates about this supernatural season. Share this message with others who you sense carry the mark of the chosen. Most importantly, begin to live with the expectation that this August will mark a turning point in your life, unlike anything you've ever experienced. Begin to prepare for sudden changes, unexpected opportunities, supernatural provision, and divine connections. Begin to ready yourself for a level of God's presence and power in your life that will transform not just your circumstances, but your very identity as a son or daughter of the Most High God. The countdown has begun, chosen one. August is almost here, and with it comes the activation you've been waiting for your entire life. Your season of preparation is ending, your season of manifestation is beginning, and your season of impact is about to commence. Everything you've endured has been leading to this moment. Everything you've learned has been preparing you for this assignment. Everything you've received has been positioning you for this activation. Are you ready? Because God is ready. Heaven is ready. Your destiny is ready. This August, everything changes. This August, the chosen ones are activated. This August, your time has finally come.